A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Let's Talk Sport live watch-along of the Dutch Grand Prix for 2022 MotoGP. We are at TT Assen, and of course that is the main track for the Dutch Grand Prix on the MotoGP calendar. We're around 11. I can't believe we're already past the 10s in the 2022 season. We've seen quite a lot of different race winners, but in the last couple of races, Fabio Quartararo has been the man on top for Yamaha, the current world champion, showing why he is the world champion in motorcycling racing. So anyway, we are about 3 minutes to go until lights out here in Holland. And remember to get in touch on the live chat page and vote for who you think will win today's race. It all kicks off in 3 minutes time, 1 PM start in the UK, that is. So we did ask you on the poll who will win the Dutch Grand Prix, and so far, as expected, the man on form, Fabio Quartararo, at 46%. Francesco Bagnaia, who is on pole today in front of Fabio, is 23%. Jorge Martin, who starts in third on the front row with Quartararo and Bagnaia, is 15%. And for other riders, since we can't fit all the riders on the poll on YouTube, I'd love it if one day YouTube did change that, but not today. 15% for other riders. So do get in touch and let us know who you think's going to win. You can even put out a different rider's name in the chat page. You can put whatever you want, just as long as it's not offensive. Nah, I'm joking. Just as long as it's not any spams, that is for sure. So it looks quite cloudy before the race. There is maybe hints of rain, maybe, but I'm noticing. I mean, you've got the grid girls that are holding the umbrellas for the riders as they wait on their bikes for the warm-up lap. But I don't see any rain, nothing obvious anyway. But actually, just as we say that, the grid girls are leaving them with their umbrellas, so they won't be covered anymore if there is any rain. But just doing last checks, all the teams, a bit of a handshake and a high five from the riders with their engineers. I always think this is probably the most nerve-wracking moment if you're a racer. You just want to get on with it and not wait around and just hope that you get the result you want on race day. But yes, we are ready to go in just a moment for the warm-up lap. So we do have the warm-up leaderboard from earlier on today, and Alex Espargaro was the fastest. Fabio second, as he is second today, starting in the race. So the warm-up lap has just begun, so the race shall be imminent. Vinales was third. He's starting 13th today, I think. Jorge Martin fourth, so not far off from his qualifying performance of yesterday. Jack Miller sixth. After he had a moment with Vinales yesterday, Vinales was on an out lap. Jack Miller wasn't out of the way in time, and they nearly crashed, but Vinales' reaction made sure both bikes were in one piece. Looking at the championship standings, Quartararo is 172 points, 34 ahead from the second position. So he is starting to create a gap. As he does so in his race leads, he's starting to show that in the Riders' Championship. They need to get themselves going, the other contenders today. They could just do with Fabio not winning the race, just to make sure that they remind him that it's not just a one-horse race. So the track temperatures is around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 degrees. John Gruber has got in touch saying, "Good morning, y'all." Good morning, John. Hope you're well. Is that the Canadian flag you've got up on your message? I don't know much about Canadian riders in MotoGP, but I do remember Jack Villeneuve in F1, who was a world champion in '97. There is flares going off in the stands while we watch this warm-up lap. But yeah, they've been racing here at least since 1991. There was the great battle of Hayden versus Edwards in 2006, followed by 2007 when it was Rossi versus Casey Stoner. So a lot of history is made here. Rossi versus Marquez in 2015. So there's always been some highlighted moments on this circuit, hence why it's probably always been on the calendar. Anyway, the riders are ready to go. All 24 of them, the best riders in the world, are ready to go as the flagsman walks off at the front. The safety car waiting behind. The red lights are on, all 5 of them, and they are off, and in they go. And it's a bad start for Fabio, and Bagnaia gets himself ahead a little bit further than he hoped as he goes towards turn 1. But now Fabio goes on the outside, but it's cost him a couple of places, and that puts him down to 4th, right in front of the flare stand. And he's going to have to pick himself up here. He's trying to go, and he has got himself back into 3rd, so he lost 2 places, but he's gained 1 in the last couple of corners. So 26 laps this race will be. But yeah, good start for Bagnaia. He gets himself away. Alex Espargaro hunting him down in 3rd, and he gets past Fabio down the straight. Quite a comfortable overtake. Can Fabio gain back on him? No, he can't. Not at the moment. But Fabio now in 3rd place. Jorge Martin is 4th. Jack Miller's got himself in 5th place. But it's a good start for Bagnaia. That's what he needed. Last time he got overtaken at the start by Fabio in the previous race in Germany last weekend. But he's able to hold on, and he's already creating a gap. He's over a second ahead. We've got more of you getting in touch, saying hello, especially Bosil and Zophek. Hello, hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. There's a long lap penalty, let's not forget, for Jack Miller for what happened yesterday in qualifying between him and Vinales. So he's going to have to do that at some point. He's been given the warning, I'd imagine. I'm not sure if there's like a deadline for him to do it. So a long lap penalty, in case you didn't know, there's certain tracks around the circuit that they have to go around if they have to do a long lap, which of course helps the riders around him overtake him and gain a bit of time against him because of the mistake he made. But he's currently 6th at the moment. He's been given the warning to do the long lap penalty according to the online leaderboard. So your top 3 at the moment: Bagnaia, Espargaro and Quartararo. And the second lap of the race, 26th lap race. Bagnaia knows he can't afford mistakes today. He slid off on his own in the race in Germany last weekend when he was trailing Fabio at the front. Which, even if he didn't win the race, as long as he got a podium place at least, it helps him not let Fabio create a bigger gap in the championship. But sadly, he went off and received a DNF. Zophek asking what happened between Miller and Vinales yesterday. So what happened was that Vinales was on an out lap. He was trying to do a hot lap, as some like to call it. And Jack Miller was looking over his shoulder, knowing that there was a bike coming towards him. But I don't think Jack Miller was on an out lap, so he was just strolling around, and he nearly got in the way of Vinales, and Vinales could have crashed into him. But amazingly, with his reflexes, he avoided the collision. And because of that, I think Jack Miller was warned, and then he got given a long lap penalty because of the danger he nearly caused to another rider. You could say he was probably too slow out there, but I think we all know he knew that there was a bike coming, but he was in the wrong place. Alex Espargaro with a new best race lap, 1:32.8 for Aprilia Racing. So only 0.04 of a second ahead, Bagnaia. He was over a second ahead during that opening lap, but Espargaro was able to come close. And this is the race we want to see, where I love Fabio, but there's times when he leads the race and he does get a bit of a gap going, and it's very rarely that you see anyone catch up with him because of his speed. Might still happen, but we haven't seen it yet. He's in 3rd. Bezzecchi 4th, ahead of Jorge Martin. Now, I don't think Jack Miller's done the long lap penalty yet because he's still got the exclamation point next to his name. He's in 6th. And I think if he had done the long lap penalty already, he would have been a lot further down. All the bikes are pretty much not far from each other. So Bagnaia, he makes mistakes. So you never know with this man. But I think he knows today of all days, this, if he wants to get a chance at this World Championship, he can't let this happen. And there we go. Jack Miller's now doing the long lap penalty on the second corner. And that will, of course, take him down a few places, maybe. Maybe not. He's still 6. Fabio, there he is, the man in third. He's just got the new best race lap of 1:32.6. He's got the same tyre choice as Espargaro. Bagnaia has actually got different tyre choices compared to second and third. Ilion saying, you are saying Vinilas's name wrong. I know, I'm not the best at name pronunciations, I'm not going to lie. I appreciate you telling me, so I know. Venilis? Is it Venilis? Vanilas. It just sounds like Vanillas to me. If you haven't yet, folks, do subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button and give us a follow. We reached over 10,000 subscribers last weekend. So thanks to your support for helping us get there. Let's get to 20,000. I'm probably being a bit over-ambitious today. Now on to lap 5 of 26. Still just 0.05 of a second, Bagnaia. Tell you what, Quartararo was right on the back of Espargaro. And he goes in on the inside. Oh, he's fallen! No! As if! Yellow flag, Sector 1 and Yamaha in trouble. Quartararo, he slid on the corner and went into Espargaro, and everyone's going past the two. Oh no, Bagnaia, if he looked over his shoulder then, he'll be delighted to see that the championship leader has made a mistake. And now Bezzecchi is second, Norgie Martin third. Now where does that leave Fabio? I think he is pretty much at the back. So it was an incident at turn 5, and I think that's Fabio's fault, I'm afraid. If they do look into it and investigate it. But it was a race. It was just a simple racing incident in my eyes. But you know what the marshals can be like, or the stewards. But we rarely see Fabio make mistakes. But there, we've just seen a rarity right in front of our eyes. He tried to make the overtake. He went a bit wide and then he went right into Espargaro. Espargaro went into the gravel, but he was still on his bike and he carried on afterwards. But, oh, Fabio, he knows that's not him normally. So, incident currently under investigation as expected. But that gives Bagnaia a bit of a leap ahead. Over a second ahead now of Bezzecchi of Mooney VR46. But poor Alex Espargaro being involved in the incident because he's second in the championship. Now, I don't know where he is. He's fit. So Alex Espargaro has gone down to 15th, but Fabio is at the back. He is 24th. So he's got a lot to do to just maybe try and get top 10 if possible. But that bike took some damage. More on the Yamaha than it did on Alex Espargaro's. Kifra N8 says, Quartararo is down, oh my god. John Gruber says, no. Joshua Langley Research says, congratulations, Jamie. Oh, I appreciate that, thank you. But yeah, it's thanks to you lot, so I thank you lot for helping us reach it. But let's focus on the race. Let's Talk Sport is your home for your MotoGP watch-alongs. This is the last race before the summer break. So the whole of July they're off. And we're not back again till the British Grand Prix on August 7th. We were supposed to have the Finnish Grand Prix on the 10th of July, but they cancelled that a few weeks back. I can't remember why, though. Which is a shame, but there we go. One less race for the calendar. Unless they add another one unless I've missed something, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Fabio's still bottom. He's at least 10 seconds behind Morbidelli in 23rd, so I wouldn't be surprised if he retired the bike at some point in this race, where it's probably just not a lot to do with not so many laps. What? We've got another 20 laps to go yet. But Bagnaia knows that this is such a golden opportunity for him to win. I think it would be his second race win of the season. Let me just check that, actually. So Bagnaia won in Mugello, the Italian Grand Prix. Oh no, this will be his third race win if he wins. He won in Spain as well in Jerez. Yeah, I think that's it. So he's won 2 races so far in 2020. In 2022, sorry. I always forget to say the 2. John Gruber says, regardless, Fabio will still lead championship into summer break. That is true. Joshua Langley says, Fabio, like most teenagers, think they are in a social media TV show. He's had his levers open and lost his chest protector and pissed about with his visor the other day. But yeah, they've just shown the replay again between Fabio and Alex. I'd imagine they'll still investigate it after the race, but we'll see. There's a yellow flag on Sector 1. I think one of them, yeah, Morbidelli's crashed. And he was 23rd anyway. And that is Fabio's teammate. So it's a bad day at the races for Yamaha right now. Oh dear. Didn't collide with anyone else. But even when you're second to last and you crash, it's, yeah. And especially when you're not really racing with anyone. Well, the yellow flag's still in Sector 1. Alex Espargaro trying to go up the leaderboard after losing out in 3rd place to Fabio in that collision. Espargaro up to 13th now. And he will be thinking about the championship. Can he get himself in the points? And look at all those points he missed out on in Spain a few weeks ago after he thought he finished the race, but there's still one more lap to go. And he missed out on a podium because of that. I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable race we've seen so far, folks. Still 18 laps to go. I have a feeling Fabio will retire. He's last at the moment. And he's nowhere near the rest of the party, you could say. There's another yellow flag, this time sectors 2 and 3, and Darren Binder has gone off. Oh, his bike's incomplete. Oh, it's gone. Incomplete pieces. He's okay, though. He's walking off, but... oh, dear. Yeah, he slides into the gravel. But he's okay, that's the main thing. Ronnie Santos says, Fabio down, chances for Espargaro, but sadly he got involved. Fabio's still in the leaderboard, even Bagnaia winning this race. Exactly. But I think when you know that you could have still had a bigger lead, it's, you know, every point counts, folks. Every point counts. It's It's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Remember, when it comes to championships in motorsport, or even in football, when it comes to the leagues, every point counts. Yeah, I think Fabio. Yeah, he's coming into the garage, so that's his race done. He's taking a layer off his visor, and he comes in, parks up, and well, as I said, it's a rarity. A DNF next to his name. Looks like he's having a few words with the engineers. Not sure what they're talking about, but as you'd expect, he doesn't look very happy. Well, he's going back out. I thought he was giving up for the race, but they're showing the replay again in slow motion on turn 5. There was damage on the bike, but it looked like it didn't do too much damage. And there was a few French fans in the stands who were absolutely shocked and appalled. Some of them wearing chickens on their heads. 0.7 of a second then. Francesco leading the race in his Ducati. Looks like there might be warnings here for a couple of riders. Let's see who it is. Ooh, that's close. Turns 3 and 4. It's a replay that they're showing. It's a hell of an overtake. But I'll tell you what, it'd be a great podium for Bezzecchi yet again. I think this would be his second podium of the season. But yeah, Mooney VR46. It is a team you can get behind. I love the colour scheme, with it being a bit of Valentino Rossi, of that fluorescent colour, against a bit of grey. It is. I love it. Alex Espargaro still just 13th. He needs to get himself in the points to at least gain something over Fabio. And that's a fantastic overtake on Gian Antonio. 14 laps to go. But that now gets him 30 points behind Fabio in the Live Championship. Bagnaia is going to be 66 points behind despite him winning this race off the championship lead, which just shows how those DNFs have haunted him, even though he's already got 2 race wins this year. Zopek saying Fabio just refusing to give up. Hee. Yeah. I mean, that's what you like to see from a world champion. They're just on board with Francesco now, our race leader. It is great to... I love the over-the-shoulder cameras that they've got on the riders. It is fantastic. Fantastic equipment. Don't know how they do it. But yeah, Quartararo's still at the back, still 22nd. We've had 2 riders out so far, Binder and Morbidelli, who have so far been our official retirements of the race. So only the 2. They're showing replays of a race start here. Now, Bastianini was on... Oh, dear. One of the bikes collided in the warm-up. involved Wan Muir. Oh, and then he went into the... Did he do that on purpose after what happened? Oh, and there's a rider off the track. Yellow flag for sector 1. I think it is Fabio. He's gone off again, but... I'm not sure why he came back on. I think he should have just parked it. And now I think he's injured himself. But, I mean, what was the point? So that's his second crash on turn 5 again. Just like the incident he had with Alex Espargaro. So yellow flag in sector 1 at the moment. He's walking off okay, but I just don't know if it was worth him coming back out. And look, he's injured himself. So he just loses controls. Oh, he goes over the front of the bike. He flipped. So he just completely lost control. And I think he was overlapped as well. Because there were a couple of riders behind him. And I think that was Bezzecchi and Augie Martin. But he'll have to get checked out. And luckily for him, there's a summer break coming up. So if it's not too bad of an injury, he'll just recover from it in the next few weeks. Joshua Langley saying Fabio crashed by himself. I think he certainly did. Quartararo. Is that how you say it? Quartararo? Quartararo. I'll try that and let me know if it is the way to say it. Quartararo. Nakagami's 7th. I didn't realise it. I keep forgetting he's on the race circuit, to be honest. Especially his helmet incident on the back of one of the bikes a few races ago. Bezzecchi's still second. Can't get near Francesco at the moment. I'll tell you what, it'd be fantastic if Bezzecchi could somehow win this race. It'd be his first race win. And it would be a different race winner for this year. And Quartararo has just walked into the garage and he's taken his helmet off. Oh, Nakagami's been given a long lap penalty for exceeding the track limits. I was talking to my good friend Billy the other day. If you're watching, Billy, hello mate, hope you're well and I'm enjoying the race. But we were talking about Nakagami a few weeks ago, and I think he said to me he reckons he won't be in MotoGP next season. Makes too many mistakes. And then Quartararo is talking to his mechanics back in the garage. Yeah, he's clearly frustrated. Not the way he wanted to end for the summer. But as you lot have been saying in the live chat page, it doesn't matter whatever the race result, he'll still be the championship leader at the halfway point. So yeah, the next race isn't until Silverstone on August 7th. And then a couple of weeks after that, they head to Austria for the Red Bull Ring. They also do F1 there. That's in July, that is, for the F1, that is. So 11 laps to go. And Nakagami just starts on his long lap penalty as we speak. That will at least cost him a couple of places. Actually, make that 3. He comes back to the circuit. So 3 bikes have overtaken him. And that helps Alex Espargaro a little bit more. That gets him up to 10th. And he just got fastest lap as well. A 1:32.5 seconds. I was going to say, if you can pick which rider you'd want to watch on board between now and the end of the race, it is probably Alex Espargaro. And he is going to fight for those places. There's 2 bikes in front of him at the moment. Muir and Zarco, I think it is. Johan Muir, that is. He's gone past Zarco. Lovely inside overtake. That gets him up to 9th now. So, of course, the higher he can get in that leaderboard, the points he can reduce on Fabio. And the team in the garage are applauding him. And now he's up to 8th. He gets past Juan Muir. That's a fantastic overtake. Fabio watching on in the garage. Nothing he can do. But it just makes the championship just that little bit more exciting. So at the moment, if the race ended like this, Espargaro would go 26 points behind Fabio. Can Bezzecchi stop Francesco at the front? White flag, so that is riders are now allowed to swap bikes. But yeah, here we go. This is the one bit I love about MotoGP. We don't see it enough, but the bike swaps, it's just insane what happens in the pit lane. Haven't seen one in a while. Might have been this race last year. I can't remember. Just as we talk about that. Oh, that's a good overtake. Yep, the white flag's still out. Martin down to 6. Started the race in 3rd. I'll tell you what, at this rate, Alex Espargaro could be our rider of the day. We'll put that poll up come nearly the end of the race. Win to the last 10 laps. Let's just hope Alex Espargaro doesn't get the lap count wrong this time. Imagine if you did that again. You'd think they'd learn from it, but I'm sure he won't do it again. I bet he learnt a big lesson that day. Zotpek says bike swaps give me anxiety. If I was working for the team or the rider, I certainly would. We haven't seen. There's a few going in, I think, in the background. I can't. Francesco hasn't gone in just yet. A little bit wide there from Rins. Yeah, Alex Rins, 10th. He's been fading away in the championship in the last few weeks. Well, no bike swaps yet at the front. And actually, one of the KTMs have parked up and decided to retire. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Fernandez. Or was it Gardner? I'd imagine it's Fernandez. Bit of a quiet race in the last few laps. If you have just joined us, Francesco Bagnaia is currently on his way to winning this Dutch Grand Prix. It would be his third race win. There's one of the engineers just looking outside, looking up to the sky. I think he's trying to see if there's any rain coming. It is dark clouds around the circuit, but there's only 6 laps pretty much to go. So, would it be worth it? Would it be worth the bike swap? It's not really caused any problems for the front lot, that's for sure. Great overtake by Jack Miller on one of the KTMs. That was on Binder. Brad Binder. And that gets him up to 4th. Does he have a shot at podium despite the fact that he had a long lap penalty to begin with? After an incident in yesterday's qualifying. Remember to subscribe to the channel, folks. And, of course, we will be taking a break from MotoGP after this weekend, since there's no more MotoGP until August the 7th. As you can see, the upcoming couple of races are on the left-hand side of your screen. So that is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone and on August the 7th, followed by the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring Circuit, which is race 13 of the season, on August 21st. So over a month off for these MotoGP riders, but be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date for future content. We also do Formula 1, football, a bit of rugby, tennis, cricket, so other sports going on for us here on the channel while the MotoGP is off. Aki Area 51 says, I am from Thailand. Small Cato asking, which circuit have you attended? The only 2 circuits I've ever been to is Silverstone, but that was for the F1, and also the Singapore circuit, as in the Marina Bay one, to do with F1. In terms of MotoGP, I've never actually been to a MotoGP race, so I'd love to go to one. We've always thought of trying to do a race watch-along live at MotoGP before the end of the season. Haven't really put much thought into it just yet, but I'd love to do it one weekend. Still a lot of races to go until we wrap up the season in, I think it finishes in November. So 3 laps to go. 1 lap 23. There's a moment where Francesco had his front wheel in the air. And then it, in slow motion, comes back down. This is on the final chicane. But he's pretty much been our race leader from the get-go. Fabio Quartararo is out of the race after an incident with the man in second in the championship of Alex Espargaro. Alex up to 7th now after being at the back, so I think he could be our rider of the day. We are going to change our poll as we say that. Quartararo was the most votes for winning this race, but no one expected him to retire from the race. We're just going to put up the poll just now. And you're going to vote for your rider of the day, and we'll announce it at the end. There you go, you got 4 riders to choose from. The poll is now up on the page. So you've got Alex Espargaro, Vinales, Bagnaia and Bezzecchi. So do vote and we'll announce it at the end of the race. 3 laps to go. Sorry, make that 2. It's always misleading, the MotoGP feed, when they put at the top left of the screen on top of the leaderboard how many laps to go, but they always seem to get that wrong because it says lap 24 of 26 on the bottom right corner of your screen. So that to me says 2. But yeah, this would be a fine win for Bagnaia, you know, to recover after what was quite a bad moment for him last weekend, losing out altogether on any points, but then to come back this weekend, win the race while the championship leader actually retires from the race, just gives you still a bit of hope that they can come back in this championship and turn it around. But he's still got to make sure he crosses the finish line first. Bezzecchi watching on still. He's still trailing Bagnaia. He's probably still too far behind, but who knows? As they come down the straight now. Just watching Alex Espargaro now. He's having to look over his shoulder. Still 7th. Good race for him still, despite the incident. John Gruber saying, first podium for Rossi's team. It is. They nearly got podium a few weeks ago, but their patience has certainly been awarded. As long as Bezzecchi could just finish the race now cleanly. He's had a good race, but I mean, of course, he's had to rely on Fabio and Alex Espargaro making that mistake. But oh, Jack Miller! Oh no, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Alex Espargaro now 6. Gets past Jorge Martin. Leaderboard's a bit behind, but wow, I didn't realise Bagnaia was nearly 2 seconds ahead. He is, isn't he? Yeah. Last lap. So Espargaro has reduced it down to 24 points. He'll be delighted with that. Got himself up to 6. I think he's 400ths of a second behind Brad Binder. Probably too much to ask for on the last lap, but who knows? But here he is, leading the way, the man from Italy, Francesco Bagnaia. Now on to his final few corners. Just to stay ahead of Bezzecchi. Flies right through there. Well, 3 corners left. And here he comes down the straight. And there it is, his 3rd race win of the season. Bagnaia wins the Dutch Grand Prix. Bezzecchi 2nd, a first podium for Mooney VR 46. And Vinales does get 3rd after all, after what he had quite a mixed race. He started 11th, and there he is getting 3rd. What a race for him as well. But Alex Espargaro, I missed that. He got 4th. Amazing. He beat Binder to it at the end. Let's see that replay. He got it on the final corner, I think. Oh, right on the inside. It was a freeway. Oh, fantastic from Alex Espargaro. That makes the championship very interesting as he comes out the exit of the final chicane. He just gets 4th. And you know what? That feels like a race win for Aprilia. That just makes it all so interesting. They also get podium with Vinales finishing in 3rd. But what an overtake at the end. I completely missed that, but fantastic work. What a race. What a fantastic race. 25 points in the bag for Francesco Bagnaia. Applauds all around the circuit from the fans and from the marshals. He gives out a love heart signal to the fans. But he'll be delighted with that. His confidence will have been certainly boosted after his retirement when he was in 2nd place during the German Grand Prix. Bezzecchi gives him a high five. And yes, as you'd expect, there's a party going on in the Mooney garage. They'll be celebrating tonight, their 1st podium. And of course, they're off for a few weeks now. They've got to have a drink or two tonight. Surely they will. On the land of Holland. But he'll remember that for a long time, Marco Bezzecchi. That's 20 points for him. Funny enough, Moreni only got 17th, so he won't be happy. But he'll be happy for the team. Get in touch, folks. On the live chat page, love to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts on the end of that race. Had all sorts going on, didn't it? Well, Francesco, he's going to the crowd. You can still see that fluorescent flares. But he's just, he's climbing up to the fence. He can't go all over it. It's got barbed wire. I don't think he wants to cut himself. There is a fantastic fan interaction with the between the riders and the fans, because they're only on their bike. They can get off it simple and then just go over to the fans. Well, here's Alex Espargaro. He's getting a massive applause from his team as he parks up. But, you know, the whole team have been so good to him, because even when he had that lap error in Spain, when he missed out on podium, he was crying in the garage. But all of his members of the team went up to him, pat him on the back, and I think they just told him it's okay. You know, people make mistakes. And I'd like to think he's paid that back a little bit from this race today to get himself back into the championship. John Gruber saying, great job, Jamie. Watch along from Silverstone would be cool. We'll have to see if we could maybe get media access. It'd be something to work on. But we'll see if it can at all happen. But before you do leave, remember to subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. We reached 10,000 subscribers a few days ago, and it's thanks to you lot that help us get there. Let's get to 20,000. Help us get to that. That's our next step here on Let's Talk Sport. We will be doing more MotoGP watch-alongs between now and the end of the season, but it's a big break for now. We're back again on August 7th. We'll stay on for a little bit longer and just watch the riders, the top three at least, just come back in. Fabio walking away from his garage. It's good to see him. He's gone into the Aprilia Racing garage. He's going up to Alex Espargaro. He's giving him a hug and congratulating him, and I think he's just giving him some credit for coming back from that collision they had, and I think he's apologising to Alex. I think he knows where he went wrong. But that's good to see. You know, Fabio knows he was the man who caused the incident, and there he is. Bagnaia finally parks up and gets the pat on the back from his team. Let's find out. Let's finish our rider of the day, shall we? We're going to give you one more minute, folks. One more minute to vote for your rider of the day, and then we'll end the poll. So the choices are Alex Espargaro, Vinales, Bagnaia, the race winner, or Bezzecchi. So that's Ducati's equal their best MotoGP podium streak of 17 races. Some achievement, that. Let's end that poll then. So, our rider of the day, it goes to the race winner, Francesco Bagnaia at 49%. Alex Espargaro with that fantastic return on the track to get himself just outside the podium spots in fourth. It has received 28% of the vote. Vinales starting the race in 11th, getting the last spot on the podium with 15%. And Bezzecchi for 6%, his first podium of his career. He'll remember that for a long time. But I think we are going to wrap up there, folks. So thank you very much, as always, for joining me on the MotoGP watch-along. It has been the final race before the summer break. We'll be back again on August 7th. So that's nearly around 5 weeks away until we reach the next race. So a long break. No thanks to Finland not being able to host the race anymore, which was supposed to be on 10th of July, a couple of weeks from now. But here we are then, 7th of August. That's when we're back here on Let's Talk Sport for more MotoGP content. And, of course, if you enjoy other sports, do subscribe as well. We do others as well. We'll be trying to do a bit of the Women's Euros. That comes up in just over a week's time. That begins on July 6th. And, of course, other sports going on. F1 next weekend as well. So yeah, a lot to look forward to. The British Grand Prix of F1 next weekend, that is. So anyway, click that like button and subscribe, and we really appreciate it. But congratulations to Francesco Bagnaia winning his 3rd race of the season. And what a recovery from Espargaro after his championship rival Fabio Quartararo leaps out of the race. And let's just say the championship is back and underway come when we return on August 7th. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your weekend.